there was a lot of sloppiness to that game. That did not feel like a playoff game in game 1 in round 2. That felt like game 45 in the middle of December.
That was Scott Arniel after the Jets lost to the Stars Wednesday. The Jets opted not to practice Thursday. Instead, they broke down video of game 1. And after a sluggish start, the Jets managed to hold the lead for a little over 5 minutes. Thursday, they talked about what needed to be corrected in order to go down 2-0.
They probably didn't like it while they were watching it, but no, I mean, there's meaning behind it. We talked about it. They recognize it. You know what? We gave up game 1. We gave up home ice advantage last night, and I'm not going to be disrespectful of Dallas, but we had a lot to do with that.
There's obviously some frustration because we know we didn't play maybe our best game, but I mean it happened in the first round, and we were able to move on and attack the next day and with a fresh mindset and go after it. So that's kind of the ebbs and flows of playoffs, and being able to learn from our mistakes from last game, try to take into the next game, and move on.
And that fantastic bass line that I composed myself is the indication that it is the return of one of our most popular segments and one of our most popular analysts. It's Jamie Noodles McLennan, and it is Tasteful Nudes. And Jamie, we just heard from Scott Arniel of the Jets. Two-part question to start you off, buddy. Do you agree with Coach Arniel's assessment of his team's play in Game 1? And if you do, are you surprised that they came out a little bit flat after that dramatic Game 7 against St. Louis?
I'm not going to 100% agree with Scott Arniel. Now, I understand the drop-off from a Game 7 double overtime. You're playing 2 days later, so it might not reach that level. But I did not believe that the Winnipeg Jets had an F game if you're giving him a grading system. Maybe it was a C, C+, B- type of thing. The Dallas Stars came out very strong. But the Winnipeg Jets got back into the game and pushed, and they created a lot of high-danger chances. It was just their lack of execution. So I don't agree with Scott Arniel. I understand he's trying to push his group, and he wants them to be at the top of their game, have their A game, especially in the opening round of the second round, opening game of the second round. But I thought it was a little bit of a harsh assessment. And again, I come back to you get Scheifele back. Connor Hellebuyck looked rock solid, especially to start the game where he stopped. I believe the shots were 9-1. So he might be talking about the start. But I thought the Jets got going, and they created a lot of good looks on Ottinger. Ottinger deserves some credit for having a strong game, and the Stars deserve some credit. So a little bit harsh, but he's trying to push the buttons of his group to try and get past the Dallas Stars, a very tough and formidable opponent.
And Jamie, we know how great Mikko Rantanen has been. Back-to-back hat tricks, had a hat trick in Game 1. As a guy who played in this league and had to face, star players who would get hot in certain times, is there a different way you approach it when a player is just rolling like this? What can the Jets possibly do to slow him down?
I think they got to limit time and space. I mean, right now, the Moose is on the loose, and he's been dominating the league the last couple games. Just ask the Colorado Avalanche, who's sitting on their couch right now watching it. But, when things are going well, it seems like everything he's throwing at the net is finding the back of the net. I was joking last night saying, where were those bounces in Carolina? Because if he was shooting the puck towards the net and it would hit a skate, it would go over the glass and hit Stormy the Pig instead of going into the net. Because right now, everything he's throwing at the net is finding the back of it. So the approach is try and limit his time and space, keep him to the outside, keep him out of those danger areas because he's such a strong player. He's strong on his skates. He's got a tremendous shot. And at some point, maybe the luck will run out or dry up a little bit, or he won't have these banner nights against you. But I think the Jets have their work cut out for him based on how well he's playing and how much confidence he has in his game right now.
As for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Jamie, head coach Craig Berube had an update on the health of goaltender Anthony Stolarz on Thursday. Let's take a listen.
How's Anthony doing today? What sort of progress is he making?
I haven't seen him today yet, but
is he going to travel with you guys today?
I doubt it.
Okay.
Yeah, not right away.
Joe's been great, and it says a lot about his character. Not playing throughout the first round of the playoffs, and having him come in even last game and make a few big saves, and then the performance he put up last night. It just shows that he truly cares, and he's a top-notch pro. And he's such a good guy. He's got a great personality. He's got that goalie quirk, but the guys in here love him, and he was just phenomenal.
Do you suspect that you haven't seen the best of Bobrovsky yet? And if you haven't,
Well, yeah, he's a great goalie. We all know that. I mean, I go way back with Bob and Philly. I mean, he's a gamer. He's a great goalie. He's a worker. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're going to have to make life difficult for him. Yeah. That's the bottom line.
Bob's made some big saves, and he's a goalie that can steal you games. So we just we need to keep doing what we're doing, get into the blue paint and try to take his eyes away. You know that we've had success when we've got bodies in front of him, and he can't see the puck. It's tough for any goalie to stop the puck if they can't see, obviously. So he's capable of putting up a 50-save performance at any point, and we're aware of that. So we've done a good job, like I said, just getting to the net. We just need to keep doing what we're doing.
When I see Craig Berube staring at Mark Masters when Mark is asking him a question, I'm terrified, and I'm not even Mark Masters, but that's for another time. Did you see enough, Jamie McLennan, from Joe Woll on Tuesday in Game 2, or rather Wednesday in Game 2? Did you see enough to at least reduce your concerns regarding Anthony Stolarz' status moving forward?
Absolutely, because this is a guy that played over 40 games. He actually played more games than Anthony Stolarz this season. So the trust is there. Really, it was just about shaking the cobwebs off. And yes, there were a few tense moments when he came in for Anthony Stolarz, but the bottom line is he's got the W. So 2 days later, he's able to prepare, be ready, start the game. And he didn't have to be brilliant and steal the game, but he did have to make a couple big saves at the right time, and he certainly did that in the third period. So I think the trust should be there, the confidence should be there. Now, I don't believe the Florida Panthers have had their best game, their A game yet. I would argue that's what they're going to have in their own building. So, Joe Woll has to step up his game. I think the team has to be extremely motivated in front of him to try and limit the chances of the top-tier players for the Florida Panthers. But I do believe in Joe Woll. I do believe he has the confidence and the ability to do it, and we saw it in last game.
Jamie, you heard Craig Berube and Steven Lorentz with high praise for Sergei Bobrovsky. Berube, I don't think I've ever heard him say nicer things about a player ever. That was quite something. But the bottom line is, as you know, Bobrovsky's allowed 9 goals on 50 shots in the first 2 games of the series. From what you are seeing, what are you attributing his struggles to?
Well, you heard Steven Lorentz talk about bodies in front and layers so that he can't find the puck. But he's allowed 9 goals. By my calculations, at least he's allowed 4 bad goals. Chris Tanev's goal, there was a little bit of a screen coming to the net. That bounced like 6 times and barely made it to the back of the net. I think he just overplayed that puck. He hasn't been as his usual self. When he's dialed in, there's no leaky goals that go in. Mitch Marner, yes, it's a perfect play by Mitch Marner, but it wasn't an absolute 100-mile-an-hour laser beam. It was a wrist shot from on the boards. He's got to find that puck and at least identify where the threat is coming from. So small details in Bobrovsky's game where he's not at the top of his game, but he does have the ability to get there. He is a hard-working goaltender. He is a guy that can steal games, but in the first 2 games, regardless of who's in the net for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they've been the better goaltender. He has to change that quickly, or Florida's not going to get back into the series. You mentioned that you expect the Panthers to have their A game. They're going to be in their own building in Sunrise, Florida. Jamie, the Leafs have really struggled there over the past couple of seasons. This past regular season, they lost all 4 regular season games by a combined score of 16-5. Are you at all concerned about the Leafs carrying over the success of games 1 and 2 onto the road on Friday night? I'm not, because if you look at, and you just mentioned a couple words there, regular season. This is the playoffs. This is for all the chips. And to me, we could have this conversation and go, geez, were you concerned about the Ottawa Senators being 3-0 against them in the regular season? It's a different scenario right now. The Toronto Maple Leafs know exactly what's at stake. It's not going to be easy. The Florida Panthers are battle-tested. They know that they haven't had their A game, so they are going to try a little bit different approach, guaranteed. The challenge will be for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can you keep it close, which we have seen 1-goal games, and can you your top players be difference makers, which we have seen in the last couple games as well. As I mentioned, Mitch Marner gets the game winner. William Nylander's been all over the score sheet. So it will be a massive challenge. Florida's going to have a big push. But the Toronto Maple Leafs can't go, hey, we haven't played there, so we're just going to wash these 2 games. That cannot be the mindset for the Maple Leafs going into Florida.
Game 3 Friday night. Jamie, you're always fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Tasteful News.